You weren't always quiet. You just learned there were times when you weren't supposed to have something to say. That's all. Growing up, you probably heard it all, right? Speak when you're spoken to, and you knew what that meant. When adults are talking, you better be quiet. You don't understand something, you better not keep asking that why. You have something to say, you better make sure this is the right time to say it. And after a while, nobody really had to tell you anything, right? You just knew when to be quiet. But now you're all grown, you're a mom, and you're sitting in a meeting at your child's school. The teacher says he knows the answers when I ask him, but when it's time to write, he barely puts anything on the paper. And immediately you're like, okay, but why? Because you see it at home too. Homework that should take about 20 minutes is taking an hour. He can sit there and tell you the answer, but tell him to write those same three sentences down or hell breaks loose. Now he's frustrated. Now he's erasing everything. Now he doesn't want to do it. And the whole time, everybody in that meeting is talking. You're sitting there thinking like, if he knows the answer, why is writing so damn hard? You got the question, you know what to ask, but you don't ask it. And girl, this is where I want you to really think about this. Why didn't you ask? Because what if this isn't just about that meeting? What if you spent so much of your life learning you're allowed to speak that you don't even realize you're still doing it? Because speak when you're spoken to may have sounded like somebody teaching you respect. But what else did you learn from it? Did you also learn that wait until somebody gives you permission to speak? Don't question people who know more than you. Don't say too much because you don't want to come off disrespectful. And now look what happens. You're sitting in a room with people who may no education, but sis, you know your child. You have information about your child that nobody else at the table has. And you're still waiting for somebody else to make room for your question? Sis, you don't need permission to ask a question about your child. And here's what I want you to take from this. Instead of leaving that meeting thinking, oh, maybe he's just being difficult about writing. I need you to start asking if he knows what to say, what is making it so hard for him to write it on paper. See, that's different, right? Because now we're not just looking at what your child won't do. We're getting curious about what they may be having a hard time doing. And that question could be the beginning of you figuring out what kind of support your child actually needs. Save this and hit the follow button, because the next time you have a question about your child and you start talking yourself out of it, I want you to remember you don't need somebody else's permission to speak up about what you're seeing in your child.